Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Reagan, and if you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. If you're coming back, welcome back. Today, I'm going to be starting a series that I got the idea for that I really love, which is I'm going to start talking about things that people just don't talk about. Like things where basically I think about them and I say, why the fuck are we not talking about this shit? Why is no one talking about it? Why is this not common knowledge, or why are we not questioning these things? I want to provide a different opinion on a lot of the stereotypical thought patterns of society and everything we've been taught to believe and everything we're taught to just live and accept as reality and not even question. I'm going to be fucking questioning the shit out of them. So that's what the series is going to look like. It's going to morph. I don't know how many I'm going to do, but there's plenty to talk about, that's for damn sure. And today I want to start out with the concept that you have to have everything figured out in your 20s, or even later in life, that you should have things figured out, that you're supposed to follow a specific structure, that being successful looks like a specific thing. And if you don't follow that, if you're not living in the normal life the way that everyone else is, then you're less successful, then you're irresponsible, then you're lazy, then you're immature, blah, blah, blah. So many things. I was so wrapped up last year in being worried about not having an internship, or not having a job, or not really knowing that if I wanted to go to grad school, or not knowing what I wanted to do after college, or not knowing what field I wanted to go into. And I was having a bit of an existential crisis, because as much as I knew, I've always known that I never really wanted to live super constricted in the status quo type of lifestyle with complete complacency and no desire to stray from the norm. I've always known that that was not what my life was going to look like. That's not what I wanted my life to look like. And I still was influenced by the idea that being successful, being high achieving, and being a respectable human being and a respectable student and person and adult meant that I was going to have everything figured out, that the jobs would be perfectly lined up, that I would know exactly what I wanted to do, and I would know exactly how I was going to do it, and I would know where I was going to end up, and I wasn't going to go frolicking about after college. I was going to go right into work, and everything was going to be perfect, and everyone would see me as successful, and I would be following the status quo, so no one would be like, what the fuck is this bitch doing? And I would just be on the normal path. Such strong pressure from society to have it all figured out. I'm here to tell you, speaking as if I'm talking to my past self, because I fucking wish I knew this sooner. There's no rush to have things figured out. What does it even mean to have things figured out? To be perfectly successful, to have gone to school and gone to college and then graduated and gotten a job and then have a family and a house and kids and all that stuff? That the definition of success? To me, the definition of success is feeling truly happy and truly free to be the person that you want to be, most authentically to yourself, your most organic self, as I say, and being able to feel empowered to live a life that is satisfying, that is fulfilling, where you can actually go out and achieve things or just pursue things as hobbies that really bring you joy. Success to me is the opposite of living a life of complacency. Success is not forcing yourself to fit into a status quo lifestyle just because you feel like that's what you should do, rather than pursuing the things that might scare you, that might be outside of the norm, that might be a little unconventional, but you know you have a pull to it. You know you are meant for this. You know you are meant for something different, for something more, for something, a little more quiet than the average lifestyle. I I cannot emphasize enough how much I despise the fact that so many of us are brainwashed into thinking that actually following a specific path that's meant for you, that's something that you want to do, something that could be your passion, that is outside of the convention, is something that is frowned upon and shameful. And I say that, and some people will probably think, well, there are plenty of people out there who say, oh, go explore in your 20s, go travel, go live and do different things, don't start work right away, because I wish I didn't do that. And yet, the people who do that, or at least I know that in thinking of even taking 3 months off of work after college, which happened in the fall for me, so it was after an internship, so like, not really, whatever. But in doing that, people will also say judgments. Like, it's so funny that there will be people older than you who will be like, go live your life, go live your 20s, go do your own thing. And yet, as soon as you start doing it, your parents are like, what the fuck are you doing? And the people around you are like, oh my god, is she even working? Does she even have a job? What is she doing with her life? and people will just always have shit to say. They'll be questioning you. Parents questioning you could be for your safety, so like not necessarily something that's meant to be constructive, but point being, there are always going to be questions. There's always going to be opposition and pushback to you straying from the norm, because everyone else who either is too scared to do that and wanted to do that, or fears for your safety, such as your parents or anything like that, in terms of safety of security or safety of traveling to countries, for example, but could be anything. Those people are projecting fears onto you just because you are doing something that is not normal. And I think we all have a societal urge and pressure, maybe just as communal beings where we need connection, to question those people who are straying from the norm, because we are compelled to act in a way that is similar to providing strength and structure and security for a group, again as a community of humans. And it's almost like we have this collective societal consciousness that's like telling us the only safe path is the path that everyone is most commonly approving of, or the one that everyone does because it's seen to be safe or it's seen to be secure and happy. And the people who are pushing away from that are the ones who are dangerous and a threat because it's the unknown. This could also apply to people who were like me in college last year, who felt like I had to follow this structure, felt like I had to go to grad school, I had to do all this stuff, I had to continue being successful in school and continue going off and achieving and doing more and adding more to my resume and adding more things to my experience and blah, 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 that I couldn't just have complete freedom and a complete lack of pressure from external sources to just take my time to figure it out. I think that's the biggest fucking scam that we've been sold as people in our early 20s, or even adults later down the line. Anyone at any age, to have the thought that you are supposed to have anything figured out that early in life is so backwards to me. It is so backwards, and it is something that I wish I could hack into the mainframe of every single brain of every single 20 something year old to tell them you are not behind. There's no need to rush. And anything that anyone else says about you going off and living a more unconventional path, or changing career paths, or not even pursuing the degree that you studied and completely going off and doing your own thing, I want to tell you guys that it is safe to do that. The only regrets you're going to have are going to be the ones that you would feel if you didn't do those things. And again, the people who tell you otherwise, the people who judge you, are projecting their own fears onto you, and they are telling you what makes them upset because they wish they would have done the thing that you did, which is like take the time off, take the space, go adventure, go travel, go do those things. We do not have to follow a path. There is no specific path to follow. Following someone else's idea of success is the easiest way to completely lose connection from your internal world and your soul, which is telling you the exact things that you are meant to be doing in this life. You are losing all connection internally with whatever you may believe in above, like God, obviously for me. You lose all connection with that as soon as you start giving your power away to what are people going to think of me? I have to follow the status quo. I have to follow this path. I have to do these things. No, you fucking don't. No, you fucking don't. No, you fucking don't. I literally want to just like fucking hammer it into people's heads. You don't have to follow a path. And I can speak from personal experience on this. As I said, this time last year, to this day actually, I was at a career fair at UConn, and I didn't have an internship yet, and I was a graduating senior, and all my other little senior friends around me were like, what are you doing after graduation? What are you doing after graduation? Do you have a job? What are you doing in grad school? Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I don't have an internship. I don't have an internship because I already applied to grad school. I got in. It was more of a, grad school is more chill anyways, but I got into grad school, so I was like, shit, I need an internship. I didn't really want to continue studying mechanical engineering in grad school anyways. I always had an interest in the environmental field, but I just like never really got a chance to pursue it, never really put myself in a place to be able to do so. And this time last year, I was thinking, what the fuck am I gonna do? Everyone around me has an internship. My senior design partners have an internship. Everyone has a job lined up, a career lined up. They're going studying abroad. They're going to do this grad program. Everyone else seems to have it figured out but me. What ended up happening? I got an internship, and guess what? I fucking despised it. respectfully. No offense to that company. Again, I've talked about this on other videos. No offense to them. It was just, it was the exact push I needed from the universe to get me the fuck out of that type of career field. To tell me, make me so uncomfortable in that job setting of a cubicle farm in a 9 to 5 where I'm staring at a job and it's complacent and boring and stagnant and like just the exact things that I did not want in terms of the setup of the company and the setup of the job itself. I was pushed and put into that role to be made so uncomfortable. I remember recording audio messages to myself and I was just like, I am fucking never living like this. I cannot live like this for my entire life. I can't do it. And me not having it figured out in the spring, that's me getting that internship by coincidence, getting that internship, being so uncomfortable in that, being so uncomfortable in still staying in the mechanical engineering field is exactly what I needed to push me out and away from it. I decided to take the break from the internship. I was going to say, I'll come back 6 weeks. I need a break from work, etc. And then come back to work and I'll work till grad school. That was the original plan. In those 6 weeks, I realized something really scary, which is, well, first off, deferring grad school was scary in itself, but I realized I don't want to work in ME, and I need more time off, and I'm going to fucking completely switch career paths. So I did, and I took time off. 6 weeks became 3 months, which was not expected. I was definitely insecure what was happening, and I ended up getting my literal dream job. Like, I'm truly so happy at my job, and the full circle moment is that today I was at a career fair with my company on the other side of the booth 1 year later recruiting people for my company, when last year I was that person who was being recruited and freaking out and panicking and wondering what the fuck am I going to do with my life. Everyone has it figured out. There is no timeline to having it figured out. None. None. I don't give a shit what other people have figured out. I don't give a shit what job other people have, or what career path other people have, or what they're doing with their lives, or they have everything figured out. Blah, 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 blah. No, they don't. None of us know what we're doing. In some capacity, in some way in life, none of us know perfectly exactly what we're doing. Let's be real. So, why are we putting so much pressure on ourselves to follow a specific path, to be perfectly successful, to be overachieving and follow the structure of success in society, whilst completely ignoring our internal thoughts and pushes and guidance towards the things that we're actually meant for, that bring us joy, that we love? That may not necessarily look like a 9 to 5 job at an office you hate under LED lights all day, just being absolutely miserable and incubating in there like a chicken. Or even going to college in the first place. It's not for everyone. We are meant to have individuality in our paths. We are not meant to all be the same person. I know that our society, that the workforce and industrialism, etc., is what kind of made this funnel of productivity for people going into the workforce. I'm not saying, oh my gosh, no one needs to work anymore. But what I am saying is work and providing value looks very different in the modern day, and can look very different than what it looks like back in the 1900s, where it was just expected that you go to work. It was just expected that you work 40 hours a week and you stay there and you're complacent and happy. Life is different now, and we have complete freedom and flexibility to go pursue whatever desires we want. The only thing standing in your way is your mindset. It's like the only thing, truly. Obviously, take that with discernment, because different people have different circumstances. But I've learned, if there's anything I've learned over the past year and a half, is you can choose to lean into victimhood and accept your circumstances as being too hard to change, or too much, or you're incapable of doing it. Or you have the mindset of, even if something's hard, I will be able to find a way to make it work. Truly, that is what I see as the key to starting to live a life that is more in line with what you and your soul actually desires for yourself, rather than feeling like you have to follow a specific path and have to live up to some expectation that society has put on you. Because let's be real, we as individuals are so much more powerful, so much happier, and so much harder to control When we are living in alignment, when we do not care about other people's judgments or living up to a societal norm or expectation, and we are completely free from all of the shit thoughts that hold us back from thinking that we are not powerful enough to actually pursue those desires and create a life for yourself that you are obsessed with, rather than one where you are just scraping to get by. So I hope this helps as inspiration, because I really just, I fucking hate it, guys. I hate it. I hate being told and put so much pressure on that. Oh my god, why don't you have this figured out? Why don't you have a job yet? Why aren't you doing this? Why you're not, are you going to grad school? Why aren't you going to grad school? Like, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Take the pressure off yourself to follow the structure, to follow the path. Fuck the path. Fuck the stereotypical status quo perfect lifestyle to be living and the perfect trajectory. Life is so much more fulfilling, again, when you are most aligned with your authentic desires, but also when you get to live life to the fullest and you get to experience it. You can guarantee that you have minimal experiences, minimal adventure, and a lot of regret if you just let yourself stay quiet in your complacency with where you're at, especially if you're miserable. You can change. Your life can change. You have complete control over your reality. Complete 100% control over your reality. And telling yourself otherwise is what the thing that's holding you back from being in control of it. We are capable of so much more than the powers that be want us to actually believe. And I hope you guys realize just how capable you are, just how powerful you are, and just how possible it is to create a life for yourself that you actually enjoy, that isn't following a specific path or living up to what freaking, I was gonna say an aunt's name, and then I can't even think of one that doesn't sound like weird, but living up to the path that like the randos online or your random teachers or professors or whatever expect of you. Because yes, we may see value in society through the lens of productivity when we think of jobs, but in terms of our inherent value as human beings, that is not something that you can put a value on. That is not something that can be measured. There are no metrics to your individual value as a human being and as a person. We are all equally as valuable. We are all worthy of success and happiness and good things happening to us in abundance. And we are all entitled to being able to be aware of that fact so that we can actually step into our power and create a life that we really enjoy, where we don't feel pressured to just fit this mold. You're not a fucking mold. No one's a mold. We're not supposed to all be the same. The whole point is that we're all different. Wouldn't it be so much more fun to have people from so many different backgrounds, with so many different experiences, with so many different thoughts and ways of life and ways of living, rather than everyone who's just living the same fucking thing? Ew. It's like why Dauntless is so much more entertaining than Abnegation, respectfully. Abnegation, everyone looks the same, the houses all look the same, like, ew, boring. We like spice, we like variety, and we like to pursue our desires. That is what my channel is all about. Living at your most organic self, without limits, without fucking limits. No limits on yourself. Stop putting pressure to follow a mold. We don't need to do it. You don't need to do it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this tech talk. I feel like it could have been a little better, but like, whatever, we'll get better as time goes on. And if you got anything out of this video, please like and subscribe and comment what you thought, and I will respond. Otherwise, I'll be back again next week for part 2 of my series of shit that we need to be talking about. Like, why the fuck aren't we talking about it? I need to figure out a good way to put that. I will have done so already by the time this video is out, obviously, because it's going to be the title. But anyways, to my 20-year-olds, or to anyone who doesn't have shit figured out, you're never going to. We're never going to. Whole point is to live a messy, adventurous, happy life where we get to have experiences and memories and pursue the things that we love. Because we regret the things we don't do. We don't regret the things that we usually do. Or we usually don't regret the things that we do. We regret the things we don't do. So, go be your most organic selves. Go pursue that thing. Don't give a fuck what random people say about you, or your friends, or your family, or whatever. Pursue what you love. Pursue what makes you happy. And you will go be successful. Okay? Be your most organic selves. I will see you guys next week. Bye, guys.